that we regret. I mean, if we're talking about bringing a discourse down, Joy, you've worn blackface.
Don't.
Whoopi,
No,
you
I
said
haven't.
that. Whoopi,
No,
you
I
said
haven't.
that Roman Polanski.
I'm
sorry, and don't.
You said that Roman Polanski. It wasn't rape when he raped a child. So
Don't.
let's
Okay.
talk about
So yeah, no,
serious
let's
things.
talk
Come on,
about
that's
this. So
not
you
fair.
want to bring this up?
I like to listen to the ladies at The View because I enjoy hearing sane, rational opinions.
Grandma, did you escape from the insane asylum again and steal my cell phone?
Oh dear.
A lot of people who watch The View are liberal-minded. Others who root for Trump are conservative-minded. So a lot of viewers who come sit on the couch and watch this kind of thing are rooting for Team Red or Team Blue. They're looking for a reason to be outraged at the other team. This tribal mentality that social engineers have tapped into know this releases dopamine in the brain and makes the victim of such a bias dig in just a little bit more in their position. They have their own bias. To hell with the facts. This is all sideshow entertainment to sell books and ads and generate clicks and views and shares, while people who wittingly or unwittingly, and this includes not only the producers of this kind of show and the stage actors you see here, but also the viewers, they wittingly or unwittingly escape from reality and are diverted away from the real enemies of this country. The Zionist international banking cartel, which owns and operates both sides of the political spectrum. Politics is exactly what gives these bankers the anonymity, power, and wealth they need to continue enslaving the rest of us. They use and leverage the minds of the masses against their own interests to such an extent that most people gladly beg overlords to rule them. Team Donkey is happy when they're ruled by a psychopathic Democrat, and Team Elephant, ain't that cute that they even have their own little tribal animals. Team Elephant is happy when they're ruled by a psychopathic Republican. So when you watch the vultures of The View play their part in the stage show attack on Don Jr. and his pushback, along with the pushback of his plastic-faced lawyer girlfriend, just know that the puppets of The View want the left boot of tyranny stomping on your neck, while Don Jr. wants the right boot of tyranny stomping on the other side of your neck. Here are some of the highlights I picked out of this nonsensical soap opera on The View. Light up ring number 3 under the big top and let the show begin.
Mr. Trump, a lot of Americans in politics miss character, and a lot of people miss the soul of this country.
One of the things the women of The View are good at is virtue signaling, where they try to make people feel bad for the way they're acting when The View acts far worse. Like Megan's father, John, noted as one of the most warmongering members of Congress. This guy was so bloodthirsty, he probably ate his steaks while the cow was still grazing in the field. And she's going to talk about improving the character in this country?
You and your family have hurt a lot of people and put a lot of people through a lot of pain, including the Khan family, who is a Gold Star family that I think should be respected for the loss of their son. Does all of this make you feel good?
I don't think any of that makes me feel good, but I do think that we got into this because we wanted to do what's right for America. My father has been working tirelessly to bring back the American dream, who've watched politicians with no business experience send that American dream abroad to countries that hate our guts. He's brought jobs back. He's created unprecedented levels of unemployment numbers for African Americans, for Hispanic Americans. This is fact. You can argue it, but this is fact.
No, it's not fact.
For women, if you ask the question, let me finish it.
Now, of course, people on Team Trump will stand and applaud what Don Jr. just said here. Never mind that his dad is for civil asset forfeiture, red flag laws, continuing the war on drugs, which is really a war on people, militarizing local police forces, shoveling boatloads of money to Israel, and covering for his banker buddies. So you have the lunatic left hailing their own illusory virtues, while the lunatic right does the exact same thing. But you know, if you give the masses bread and circuses, they shall never revolt. And if The View is anything, it's bread and circuses.
For women, all-time high startup businesses. So I understand that he's controversial. I understand that he's offended a lot of people, but I also understand he took on the establishment, and that's the premier sin in American politics these days.
That's the big lie Trump followers like to tout. He took on the establishment. Well, let me ask you a question. If he took on the establishment, why do we still have a Constitution-violating domestic terror cell in full operation on American soil called the IRS? How do we still have a Federal Reserve? How is it that the Fed still controls the Treasury through Mnuchin? Why has the national debt skyrocketed even over and above what Obama was able to achieve for his banking buddies? How has the funding for the military-industrial complex exploded under Trump? Oh yeah, because he hasn't really taken on the establishment. All he did was join the circus that's protecting the establishment.
But
to do that.
I do want to know, the question, I understand.
By the way, I'm not
question
happy
is,
that people interpret it that way. I don't think that's
character
our
and
intention.
Character and and again, I will let you speak. Character in politics, I believe, is important.
This is hilarious. Character in politics? If you're in politics, the only character you could possibly have is a corrupt character. But I guarantee you this, not one of the hundreds of commentary videos you see on this anticipated meeting with Don Jr. on The View will come close to calling out all these mind control buzzwords and phrases intended to keep the sheep blind and grazing on the U.S. plantation.
It was how I was raised. It's the way I view the lens of America. And I understand what you're saying about policy, but when you're talking about attacking Gold Star families who have given the ultimate sacrifice more than any of in this room have given, and you put them through pain, does it make you
and I know
feel
he
like
does a
this
lot
was
with Gold
worth
Star
it?
families, and he calls a lot of those Gold Star families, and he has a lot of care for those
Some of
people.
Angel moms.
He should call
When
the
he's
Times and
when he's
apologize.
under constant attack by the same people, when he's under attack by the establishment, when he's under attack by this.
Of course Trump's under attack from leftist corporate media. It's clear for anybody to see. That's what makes the ratings. That's what helps divide the slaves on the plantation. It's all a part of the Operation Mockingbird CIA developed and initiated plan.
The reality is this, he's a counterpuncher, and as a conservative, I would hope that you would appreciate that conservatives haven't been known for fighting back for a very long time. They've ceded ground to the liberals and the liberal elite for decades by not actually fighting back. So I understand.
And there you have a further solidification of the left versus right paradigm lie.
We can keep going back to character. I think he has great character. I think my family has character.
Her father.
I understand that, and I'm sorry about that. And they did have differences. I agree with that.
But I think just
Trump actually rightly condemned the warmongering policies of John McCain. I don't know what Don Jr. is agreeing with here. Now, in a moment of emotion over the loss of John McCain and Kimberly's parents to cancer, in true soap opera form, Megan begs Kimberly to bring civility back to politics.
try and bring civility back then. You can do it. You have this. You're in the White House.
And you're right. And you know what, guys? It goes both ways.
Now Whoopi gets in defensive mode over her lord, Barack Obama.
Now, what you can't do is you can't change the past. Obama became president, and the first thing that was said to him from the other side is, we're going to make sure you're a one-term president. We're not going to do anything to help. Well, I'm sorry, wait. I just want to say, who said it? I believe Mitch McConnell said it.
McConnell said it.
Guys,
And that you can look up.
but guys, look at what's going on right now.
But
When
I'm
the
just saying
Washington
to you
Post
that this
runs
is part. But
the
this is
article,
part
the
of
case for
being president.
impeachment,
I'm sorry.
19
This is
minutes after inauguration.
Listen,
Come on, guys.
Part of being president is having a pair that can take whatever heat comes towards you.
Actually, the biggest part about being president is obeying your banking masters and making sure their will is done in America as it is in Israel. Keep in mind, this is a Title 28, Section 3002 federal corporation. But nobody sitting around this glass table seems to want to talk about that. Now it's gun-grabbing, politically correct Joy Bear's turn.
Go, Joy.
Okay, just to her point, he also called Mexicans rapists. He
No,
made.
he
Wait a
said that
second.
some coming across the border are, and that's a fact.
No,
Look at what's going on
I
at
can
the
tell you
border.
that.
Let her
Finish
finish.
the damn
Let her finish.
Called some Mexicans rapists. He attacked the handicapped. He bragged about
also
it.
not
He,
true.
listen, we heard the
Wait till we
access.
saw
Hold
that.
on. We heard the access tape where he bragged about grabbing women by their genitalia. She's talking about, that's what Megan is talking about. She's talking about lowering the discourse to his level, which is horrible for this country.
You know what's horrible for this country, Joy? What's horrible is that people are so mired in their cognitive dissonance that they can't see that the most dangerous, psychotic, narcissistic, and bloodthirsty people on this planet are the very politicians you guys promote on every stinking psychological operations show. That's what's horrible. Okay, now the View soap opera gets interesting.
Even if people are working, we don't want to have a country like that. Do you understand
We've
that?
all
They
done
don't like
things.
the vessel or the
Wait,
semantics of
you
the
know,
tweet, but nevertheless, look at the result.
We've all done things that we regret. I mean, if we're talking about bringing a discourse down, Joy, you've worn blackface. Don't. Whoopi,
No,
you
I
said
haven't.
that. Whoopi,
No,
you
I
said
haven't.
that.
Joy says no, she has not. And yet everybody knows and has made a big deal out of the fact that Joy did indeed wear blackface. But she's going to sit here and lie about something anybody with an internet connection can verify. Now Don tears into Whoopi.
I'm
Polanski.
sorry. I'm sorry. And don't, if
you
you
said
do
that
it.
Roman Polanski, it wasn't rape when he raped a child. So let's
Okay,
talk about
so yeah, no,
serious
let's
things.
talk
Come on,
about
that's
this. So
not
you
fair.
want to bring this up?
Yeah, actually, that's a good thing to bring up. Let's fact check what Don Jr. just said here.
I know it wasn't rape.
Yeah,
There is
a statutory.
I
Child molest, maybe? I'm
I
not
think
sure
it
what
was
child
something.
molest.
It was something else, but I don't believe it was rape. And when we get all the information, somebody will tell me in my ear. All I'm trying to get you to understand is when we're talking about what someone did and what they were charged with, we have to say what it actually was,
Okay,
not
so
what
if
we
go
think
back
it
with
was.
What he said he did. He gave her Quaaludes. He gave her champagne. She was drugged. She was 13 years old.
They were
He
having
asked her,
sex
here's a transcript.
beforehand,
But that's what I'm saying. You're 13 years old. She was still a child. He asked her.
Initially he was charged with rape. Go ahead. And then he pled guilty to having sex with a minor. Okay? And he went to jail. And when they let him out,
45 days.
and when they let him out, he said, you know what? This guy's going to give me 100 years in jail. I'm not staying. And that's why he left. So that's why I wanted to be really clear, because I wanted to know exactly what we were talking about.
Well, there you have it. Whoopi covered for child rapist Roman Polanski, and they're going to sit here at this table and talk about elevating character in politics? What a joke.
The question came up.
I did not go in blackface, please.
No, she was not in blackface.
Thank you.
Here's Joy again, not going in blackface. And of course, Whoopi covers for another liar. Really, guys, this is a typical day for the vultures of The View.
Sorry, listen, being black, I recognize blackface. This I can say. Okay? I know it when I see it.
Back me up on
Yeah.
that.
So
That's
now that you've broken this piece of ice, because I guess this is the fight you wanted.
It's not the fight I
Yeah,
want.
it is.
But if we're
Because
talking
when
about character, if we're
because
talking
when-
about these
are you
things-
questioning my character?
Hell yes! Nobody's character is off the table for questioning. And really, there's no question at all, Whoopi. You minimized and protected a child rapist on live TV. So your character is not in question at all. It's settled.
I'm not
No,
questioning your
talking about
character. I'm
father's
talking about
character.
you're questioning my father's character.
I'm
and
not,
I say
I'm
we all
sorry,
have done
I didn't
and said
question
things.
anybody. I simply said that when you're talking about that your father's taken more heat than anybody else, that it's not so. Instead,
As a president?
and when, yes,
Come
as a
on.
president,
It's
yes,
ridiculous.
He's getting crushed
Who
every
has?
day.
I think,
He's
I think
a
the Central Park
president.
5 took a lot more heat than your father has taken at his hand.
Oh, and by the way,
Name a president who's taken more heat than my
everybody
father.
stop.
record
Hold up,
criminal
hold
justice
up,
reform
hold
first
up.
back. President Trump.
We'll be right back.
Well, the hypocrisy was thick, the deception was liberally applied, and the bankers laugh as more freedoms and wealth are plundered from the American people. Like and share this video everywhere you can on social media, and leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below, and I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.